Hi everybody! We're doing a home vlog today because the weather is just nasty. Woke up to rain. Originally I was going to go out and do something outside, but nope. That's okay. We have some crocheting we need to catch up on. First things first, we're going to get hydrated. I was really hoping that the whole Gatorade bottle would fit in my bear. It's just more fun to drink out of the bear. Alright, so let's get the lid on this real quick. Cheers. Very good. Let's put this out of the way so I don't knock it over, because I'd be very sad if I broke that glass bear. I'm going to catch up on some things that I've been working on and projects I want to work on. So I finished my halfway to Halloween blanket in the first part of May. And here it is. It's just a big, giant granny square. And then I extended on each side a few rows. I think I did like 10 rows extra on each side. And then I put a border on it. So it's just a nice little lap blanket when I'm on the chair downstairs. Something lightweight, very pretty. This was the Hirschner's Monster Mash, their Halloween glitter line of yarn. While I was in Salem, several stores that I went into had cast iron cauldrons, and I wanted one so bad, but there was no way I was going to buy one while I was there and then try to take it home. It would have made my suitcase over the limit, and then I'd have to pay ridiculous amounts of baggage fees or buy another bag, and I just didn't want to spend the extra money. So when I got home, I checked Amazon and I didn't really find what I was looking for. I had a specific a specific theme in mind. Size, that's the word. Oh my God, why are words so hard? I don't know. Anyway, maybe I should be drinking coffee and not Gatorade. But it's like 3:30 in the afternoon, so no coffee this late in the day, otherwise I won't sleep tonight. But anyway, I wanted a specific size. All I want the cast iron cauldron for mainly is to do simmer pots around the different holidays, and then the rest of the year it's just going to be witchy decor. I might make soup in like the late fall, winter, who knows, but I didn't find what I liked on Amazon, and so I started browsing. I did a Google search, and I found a company called Smith & Clark, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, Smith & Clark Ironworks. And I bought this little guy. It was on sale. So it was just shy of $40, and it was free shipping. It's a 4-quart cast iron pot that came pre-seasoned, and then this little card tells you how to use and care for it, how to clean it, and how to season it, and all of the things. So that is fantastic, because I've never had cast iron before. I have no idea how to do all that. I mean, I would probably Google it, and YouTube tutorials would be a great help. But you ready to see my cast iron pot that I got? Look at, it's so wonderful. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's got a flat bottom, so I could put it on the stovetop if I wanted. Oh my God, I love that it has the lid and a handle. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm so excited. Can't wait to use it. All right, now, that's not the topic of today's video. I have so many crochet projects in mind that I want to work on. So I have my Hooks and Needles monthly crochet box that I am going to be unboxing in the next vlog. Not today, so that's something to look forward to. Today I'm going to cake up some of the yarn that I got at the Fiber Witch Festival. I bought 2 hanks of this octopus ink from Muse 2320, and I got a mini hank from East Coast Yarn Co. I am going to make an octopus amigurumi plushie for my Fiber Witch that I made right before the Fiber Witch Festival when I went to Salem. The theme for this year's Fiber Witch Festival was Sea Witch, or Song of the Sea, or something like that. So Pete gave me the idea to use one of them to make an octopus plushie to put around her, kind of somehow like almost like a cape. We'll see. It'll be like a shawl, another shawl. So she is wearing a witch hat and shawl in the same theme colors as the one I wore to the soiree during the Fiber Witch Festival. So today we're going to make her an octopus. I have to hook up my Swift so that we could cake this up properly. Otherwise, it'll be a big tangled mess. And then I have future vlog plan idea. Pete 3D printed the Tron light cycle handlebar baton. And then we went to the hardware store and we got PVC pipe that fits in each side. I'm not going to push it in there because I don't want to force it at the moment. But I am going to crochet with this blue glow-in-the-dark yarn that I just got today from Amazon. I'm going to crochet over the blades, and I think that'll be another video eventually. I don't know exactly when, but I got to get through today's vlog and then the unboxing of the crochet subscription and whatever else I have. I don't know. I have a whole list of plans for vlogs on my computer. So it looks like we're going to do the Fiber Witch Festival octopus today. The hooks and needle will be for Friday's vlog. And then after that, we can crochet the Tron lightsaber and so on and so on. Now that I've got all that out of the way, I'm going to set up the Swift and get busy with today's vlog. Just wanted to share some of my ideas to get you guys as excited as I am for projects. I'm also sometime soon, I don't know exactly when, I'm going to do a frog or finish because I have a bunch of stuff next to my desk that needs to go through and figure out if I'm going to finish it or just tear it apart. Frog means tear apart. So you rip it, rip it, rip it. Yeah, speaking of that, I have a toad I started, I think, in February. I really should get him done. It's almost time to start doing market booth prep. Pete cut out a whole bunch of my catnip bats. I think I have like 120 in here, which would actually be 60 or something like that, because 2 bats makes 1 catnip toy. So that'll be a future vlog. Market booth preppings. We'll have a sewing day where I make catnip bats, bandanas, and whatever else. Witch hats, I think, are on my list. And then I'll have another market booth prep where I'm just crocheting. I'm thinking about doing like a multiple day where I challenge myself to see how much I could get done in a week for market booth prepping with crocheting. Then we also need to do a day of tagging and bagging and then going through all the bins and seeing what all we have, maybe do inventory, figure out how I'm going to display everything. So there's a lot of market booth prep stuff coming soon. That'll be later in the summer months. But right now, we got to get to caking this up. The yarn I'm working with is all caked up. I could have caked up this as well, but I think I'm gonna wait until I'm ready to figure out what I'm gonna do with it. I don't need to cake it up until then, so we'll keep it in hank form. I have another hank sock yarn that I got from the Fiber Witch Festival that I could have wound up as well, but I want to wait until I'm ready to use it, just for good measure, so I don't forget what it is. So I wrote out my pattern. I'll share it with y'all, I guess. We are now ready to crochet an octopus. Y'all have to excuse the air sound. It got hot in here, so I had to turn on my air conditioning. So I am going to use a row counter so I can keep track of rows. I have a darning needle, a tapestry needle, or whatever. You're going to need that at the end to weave in your ends. A stitch marker, scissors, obviously you need your yarn of choice, 2 colors or whatever you want to use, and then hooks. There's going to be 2 different size hooks depending on your yarn. So like my pattern, I wrote down a 4.5 millimeter hook for the main body color and a 3 millimeter for your trim underbelly for the arms. That is when I use the thicker acrylic yarn that I get, like the Loops and Threads or Red Heart or Big Twist. I'm using a different kind of yarn, so I am going to adjust my hook size accordingly. So I don't remember what the suggested hook size was. It doesn't have one. Okay, then I'm going to go with a 4 on my main body, and I think a 2.5 on the underbelly, because this is much thinner yarn. So I'm gonna dig through my favorite hooks. These are all like a generic clover that I found on Amazon. So what did I say? A 2.5 for my underbelly and a 4. 4 is the one I use the most. So I have several of those in here. I think I have one in my purse. There's one in my project bag. There's one hanging on the wall. 4 is my lucky one. Okay, so putting those back on my desk. You're also going to need safety eyes. So I don't know the proper size safety eyes. Those are all too big. Oh, come on. Probably, oh nope, that's a nose. Awkward. Probably something that size, and I have no idea what that size actually is. I'm sorry, not very prepared for that. This is not a tutorial though. We're just crocheting together. So what I'm going to do is tell you the steps, and then I'll speed it up as I'm doing it. So you might have to pause the video if you're following along and making one as well. All right, and then you're gonna want some polyfill because we're gonna be stuffing the head of the octopus at some point. If you have one of these safety eye gizmo tools, they're very helpful for locking the safety backs in place. I got this off of Etsy from Gurumi Supply, and I love it. Okay, let's get going, shall we? First, hydrate. All right, so I could better see things. Alrighty, where's my hook? Starting with the larger hook and your main body color of yarn. We are going to do a magic circle, so you do the magic circle however you do your magic circle. Oh, I have a little knot right there. I'm gonna cut that off. Okay. I am going to do the little slip knot chain 2 method, just because it's easier. And then we're going to do 6 single crochets into the magic circle ring. So if you do the chain 2 method like I did, you're going to do 6 single crochets into that first chain. Once you have your 6 single crochets done, give that a little pull to tighten up the loop. Don't forget to advance your stitch counter, row counter. Row number 2, we're going to increase in each stitch. So that'll be for a total of 6 times, ending with 12 stitches. Hope that made sense. So we're going to go into that first chain space or single crochet and do an increase. So that's 2 single crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, put my stitch marker in that first stitch and continue around until you get back to your stitch marker, doing 2 single crochets in each stitch. So an increase round 6 times. Something I like to do, you don't have to do this, this is just something I prefer. After I do that second row, I will take the tail from the magic circle, pull on it again, and then tie a little knot so that it stays in place. This will be on the inside of your plushie so no one will see it. I just like to do it just to secure it. Just a little added extra step. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to remove my stitch marker, and we are on to row number 3. Row number 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet in your first stitch and then an increase, and you're going to follow that pattern around 6 times, ending with a total of 18 stitches. Now we are ready for row number 4. For row number 4, we're going to single crochet 2, followed by an increase. You're going to repeat that 6 times, ending with 24 stitches. Row 5, we're going to single crochet in each stitch for a total of 24 stitches. Row 6, you're going to do 2 single crochets followed by a decrease times 6. So you're going to repeat single crochet 2, decrease, do that 6 times for a total of 18 stitches. So here we go. Here's 1 single crochet, and then we'll put our stitch marker in so we know where we end. Here's your second single crochet in the next stitch, and then your next stitch is a decrease. So you're going to insert into the first stitch, loop, pull through, go into your next stitch, loop around the hook, pull up your yarn. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3, and that is a decrease. And you're going to repeat that same process 5 more times. For row 7, we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch for a total of 18 stitches. Row 8, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease. I'm going to repeat that 6 times, and you'll end with 12 stitches. Row 9, we want to slip stitch 5 times. Followed by half double crochet in the next 7 stitches. You'll end with 12 stitches. Row 10 is going to be slip stitch in the first 5 stitches. Your next stitch is going to be a half double crochet. Your next stitch is going to be a bobble stitch, and then your next 3 stitches you're going to do a half double crochet in each stitch, followed by another bobble stitch in the next stitch, and you're going to end with a half double crochet, leaving you with a total of 12 stitches. We are now on row 11. You're going to slip stitch in your first 5 stitches, and then your last 7 stitches will be half double crochet, and you'll end with 12 stitches in this round. Okay, we are going to pull the stitch marker out, pull up a little bit of a loop so it doesn't get lost, put your hook down for a minute, and now we are going to attach our safety eyes, and the safety eyes will go where you did your bobble stitches. I might need to use bigger eyes. We'll have to see here in a second, because this is thinner yarn than I'm used to using, so my bobble stitches kind of look wonky. Actually, that's not bad, but I do want to go up the next size, so BRB. Yeah, that's much better. I think the smaller ones would have fell through the stitch, so now I'm going to lock my backs on. Eyes are in place. We're going to continue on to row number 12. Row number 12 is a half double crochet increase, slip stitch in the next 5 stitches, half double crochet increase in the next 6 stitches. You'll end with 19 stitches at the end. Row 13, half double crochet 2 times, 2 stitches, single crochet increase for 5 stitches, and then we're going to half double crochet for 12 stitches, ending with 24 stitches total for the round. Double crochet 2 stitches. Your repeat round is going to be single crochet increase, and then you're going to single crochet 2 times in 2 stitches. You're going to do that 3 times. So single crochet increase, single crochet twice, times 3. Next, we're going to single crochet increase, and then you're going to do another repeat where you're going to do half double crochet in 2 stitches, a half double crochet increase. You're going to repeat that 4 times, ending with 32 stitches in the round. I hope that made sense. Here we go. Okay, I'll do this with you. So half double crochet in 1 stitch. We're going to add our stitch marker. Then we're going to half double crochet again in the next stitch. Okay, now we're on to our repeat. We're going to single crochet increase, and then we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and we're going to repeat that 2 more times. So single crochet increase, single crochet in the next 2, and then we want to repeat that 1 more time. Single crochet increase, single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to do a single crochet increase, and our next repeat row will be a half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and then we're going to half double crochet increase into your next stitch, and repeat that 3 more times. Half double crochet in 1, half double crochet in 2, and then 2 together for an increase. 1, 2, and repeat 2 more times. Our next step is to slip stitch into the next stitch to make an even edge. Okay. And we're going to continue on to the arms, still using the same main color and your larger hook. We're going to start our row counter with new numbers. This thing's stiff. Okay. That's what she said. Okay, row 1. We're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Oh, the yarn split. 1 second. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Slip stitch into your next stitch. We're going to add our stitch marker, I think. We're going to put it there for good measure. We're going to chain 17. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now working down the chain back to the octopus body, we're going to slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. And then we're going to slip stitch into the next 3 stitches. So there'll be a total of 4 slip stitches. We want to half double crochet 4, we're going to do a double crochet in the next 4. And then we're going to do a triple in the next 4 stitches. Or a treble. You're going to skip on the body. You're going to skip 2 stitches. So 1, 2. In your 3rd stitch, you're going to slip stitch to attach this leg to the body. And that's arm number 1. You want to repeat this for a total of 8 arms. So you're going to slip stitch in the next stitch. And you're going to chain 17 and repeat all that we just did until you get back with 8 arms. Once you have all 8 of your arms done, we are going to tie off. So I'm just going to do a chain 1, cut a little bit of length, pull that through, give it a good yank to make it tight, and then we're going to weave in this tail. So where's my needle? Take a pinch of our polyfill stuffing, and we're going to fill the head real quick. Don't overfill it to where you see the stuffing through the stitches. You don't want the stuffing to poke through. Just get it in there enough to give it its shape. Okay, some of my stitches are a little looser than I like because this is much thinner yarn than I'm used to using. So you can totally see some of my polyfill in there, but that's okay. I could actually put some of the yarn in there to hide that, or I could just ignore it. What do I want to do? Do I want to put something in there to hide that stuffing? I think I do. Okay, I'm gonna take this off of my hook. We're gonna redo this. I'm just gonna take a little bundle of this yarn. So if you save your scrap yarn, it makes excellent stuffing in a pinch. So we're gonna just put that right there at the front, and that hides that perfectly. Okay, now we're going to take this, we're going to hook it back on our hook. So slip knot, attach it to your hook, and we want to stick it right in here. There's a little bit of a ledge. I don't know if you can see that. You're going to stick your hook in there. Any of those stitches will work. Come on now. And we want to just slip stitch that in place so that it's attached to your octopus. And then give that a little snug pull. Chain one. And we want to decrease in each stitch around. So you're going to go in, and this is hard to do, so you just have to maneuver the stitches. These were where we slip stitched earlier in the project, so you just want to get in there and do a couple of decreases around. I don't have any set number because everybody's is going to be different depending on where you attach underneath. Basically, we just want to cover up the hole so that the polyfill stays in place. So I'm going to work on that. I'll be right back. I ended up doing 8 decreases around. So now I'm going to pull up a loop a little bit. I'm going to cut a length, and then I'm going to pull that loop completely so that it ties a knot. So we're fastening off, in other words, tying off here, but leaving enough for a tail to sew the rest of this closed. So we're going to attach the tail to our needle, and then I'm basically going to just weave in and out of these stitches. And then we're going to pull it to cinch it closed. You can put a little more polyfill in there if you want. I don't think I'm going to bother. I think it'll be just fine. I'll see you when I'm at the end here. definitely cut too much of a tail, but that's all right. So now I'm at the end, give it a pull. Not too hard like I did because I broke my yarn. Oh, so I have to figure out how I'm going to make a knot so that that doesn't come undone. Okay, I just went back around and cinched it again and then tied them, and now I'm just going to hide this by poking it through, all the way through the top of the octopus's head. And then we're gonna trim that. And this is scraps. I have another little end here I need to do the same thing with. I really messed up by pulling too hard. I'm so used to working with the thicker acrylic yarn, so my tension is all over the place. With this yarn, it's a lot more fragile. And I noticed there was some weird consistency, is that the right word, in the thickness throughout this hank of yarn. Like there was parts where it was really thin, like I felt like I was working with sock yarn. Like, huh, I don't know if I just got a bad hank or if it's just me, I'm not used to this kind of yarn. I have no idea. Anyway, it's beautiful. So basically just close up the bottom, and now we're ready to move on to the next step. The next step is the trim that's going to go around the arms. So we're done with the main body, and I still have a lot left. So I have a whole hank plus this, and there's what, 200 yards in a hank, and I barely used any. So what do I do with the rest of this? Do I make myself a wearable, like maybe a beanie or a cowl, or I don't know? Give me some ideas. I don't think there'll be enough of this left over for anything. So it's gonna be just whatever I can make out of scraps. Okay, so we're changing to our other color, and we're also changing to the smaller hook. So I'm using a 2.5. If you're using acrylic yarn like Red Heart, Big Twist, Loops and Threads, Hirschner's, use 3mm or whatever the label recommends, just one. Okay, so let me take that back. If the label says to use a 5, go down 1. If you used a 5 on your octopus, you want to use a 4 on your trim. Does that make sense? So you're gonna go down a size for the trim. So to start off, we're gonna just do a slip knot and put that on our hook. And we want to start in the back end of him, and you're gonna go in one of those spaces here where we did a slip stitch in between each arm. And you want to slip stitch to attach the yarn to your octopus. Pull that tight so it's on there. I like to do a chain 1 for good measure. Okay, now all we're going to do is single crochet around the entire octopus. So we're going to go all the way down each leg till you get to this tip. Then you're going to come back down the other side and continue all the way around till you get back to where you started. So single crochet all the way around. Get my bearings straight here. Okay. Oh, I fell off the hook. Grr. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna crochet over my tail so it's one less thing I have to weave in later. forgot to tell you, when you get to that slip stitch that's in between each legs, we're going to slip stitch there with this color as well. So that's the only thing different. So slip stitch and then continue single crocheting around the legs. So single crochet around the legs and slip stitch the spot in between each leg. Do that for all 8 legs, and then when you get to where you started, when you reach the end or your starting point, you're just going to tie off and weave in your ends. I am done. Look at how cute that is. So I don't do the suckers on the underneath of the arms because it's just so small and it stresses me out. So on the small octopus, I don't bother. But if I did a larger one, like with blanket yarn or something, I might consider figuring out how to make the suckers, because that would be super, super cute. But I've never made one that big before. This is the biggest I've made them. And I still have a little bit of this left. So I could probably make another octopus out of this and then save this one for like a hat, a beanie or something. I don't know. I still need ideas. Okay, so I want to attach her, and originally I was thinking I'd have it her pet octopus wrap around her somehow, but I think it would look really cool up here on her head with her hat. And the way I'm going to attach it is with stitch markers. That way if I want to take it off later down the road, it'll be real easy. I think what I would like to do with her, okay, originally I was going to attach her to a broom and then have her hang from the ceiling in my craft room, but I don't think I want her to be a permanent stuck fixture. I think I want to keep her and take her with me again to the next Fiber Witch Festival. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Hopefully I can make it in 2027 because that would be amazing. What I'd like to do is take her with me and take pictures of her around Salem, and then whatever the theme is for next year's event, make something for her in that theme to keep adding to her each year. Even if I don't go to the Fiber Witch Festival, maybe I make something that I keep attaching and making it just an amazing piece. I think that'll be really cute. I have these little shell stitch markers. There's a set of 4 that came in the raffle prize that I won at the soiree. I'm gonna clip those to the bottom of her dress as trim. I think that'll be really cute. And then I have the crochet hook stitch marker that I got from Ritual Dyes, which is a shop here in Portland. Thought that was really cute. So I'm going to pin this to her head really quick and put the seashells on. I'll be right back. She's done. Look at how cute. The little black stitch markers were a good idea. So it's in there. Pretty nice. And then the seashell stitch markers around the bottom of her dress. I wish I had more so I could go all the way around. So maybe next year I could find the same vendor that these came from. I want to say it came from Dragon Horde. Hold on. It's the same company I got the yarn from in the raffle prize that I won. And it was, yeah, Dragon Horde yarn. So we're going to be making socks in the future. I'll probably hang on to this till the fall, just because that's a better time to make socks. I'm going to be so busy with market prep in the next couple months here. So that'll be a project for later. But yeah, I think getting more of these seashell stitch markers would be cute, so I could go all the way around the bottom of the dress. What do you think? Yeah? That'd be super duper cute. Oh my gosh, I love this. This was fun. I guess it did end up being a tutorial because I told you how to make it and showed you, sort of. I didn't show you the way I normally would like, if I was going to do a tutorial. I would rather, I don't know if I said it earlier, I would rather have just my hands and showing me crocheting it. So we might do more tutorials in the future if that's something you guys enjoy. Right now I have to focus on some market prep and some stash busting because I have a bunch of leftover scrap balls that we need to go through, consolidate down. So that's coming up. All right, this is a very long video. I apologize, but I also thank you if you made it all the way through to here. Thank you. If you make the octopus, go to my Instagram and tag me at Gothic Beagle so that I can see your octopus. I love seeing creations from others, some other crafter fiber artists. Anyway, I'm starting to babble. I'm really tired. I got to get ready for bed. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for joining me in making something from the yarn I got at the Fiber Witch Festival this year. See you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.